Months ago today, signboards appeared on what's claimed to be some of the county's oldest allotments, giving gardeners just a year to find a new home. 12 months on, and today's eviction day for Coombe Allotments. We'll be live to the village near Wootton under Edge in a moment. But first, let's hear from TV gardener Danny Clark, who visited the site earlier this year.
Good morning, Norman.
Good morning, Danny.
Good morning,
Lovely
Maggie.
to meet you.
How are you? What a lovely piece of paradise you've got here.
Oh, well, welcome to Coombe.
Absolutely gorgeous.
It is absolutely super.
As I walked up here, I noticed quite a few signs. What's that about?
Well, that took us by surprise on March 26th, when 6 o'clock in the morning they all got staked into the allotments, and it gave us a year's eviction notice.
You're in the middle of green fields here. Is there anywhere else you could have an allotment?
We've been in touch with all of the other owners of the land to see if anybody else is willing to let us have a patch, and so far absolutely nobody wants to part with any parcel of their land.
So if you lose this, you've got nowhere else to go?
We've got nowhere else to go.
Across the region, at least 64 council-owned allotments have been closed down in the last 20 years. No one knows how many privately owned sites like Coombe have shut. The issue has divided this small village. The landowner, Susan Ballinger, wasn't available for interview, but she said she'd given the allotment holders a year's grace to find other arrangements. And they all had their own gardens where they could grow vegetables.
What have you got from the allotment, Maggie?
Some potatoes, which I've surprisingly found, and
Right.
some Jerusalem artichoke.
Oh, that sounds lovely. And you're going to make soup from it, are you?
I am.
Maggie Butt used to look after her plot with her husband John, who died a few years ago.
So this is where you live then, Maggie?
This is what we bought. But as I said to you, my husband wouldn't have bought this if we hadn't had the allotment, because the garden is so small, as you can see.
So, Maggie, what would you miss most about the allotments?
Going up and picking lovely fresh product, bringing them down, putting them in the pot. But also, I miss more than anything the companionship that my husband and I had.
So what would losing the allotments mean to you, Maggie?
So much. For me, not only me, but for my family. But mostly because John always wanted to be buried there. He wanted to go into his compass, which we used to laugh at when he used to say it. But in fact, what he was saying also was that he wanted to put back into the soil what he'd taken out over the 44 years that we've been here. But I can't do it unless it belongs to us, or the allotment, and it will always be allotments.
I mean, there's quite a bit of land here, isn't there, Norman?
Yeah.
I would think you can get quite a few houses on here. Some people say that's a lot more important than allotments. I mean, what do you say to that?
Well, I guess we could be accused of NIMBYism, but these allotments have been around a long time. They provide a lot of physical, social well-being for a lot of people. It's the only facility we've got, so we really will do everything we possibly can to make sure that it stays as allotments rather than going for building purposes.
TV gardener Danny Clark chatting to allotment holders Norman and Maggie. To mark the eviction then, the allotment holders are throwing a party. Martin Clark is the campaign manager of Fight for Coombe, and he joins me on the programme this morning. Morning to you, Martin.
Oh, good morning, David.
So what's happening today then?
Well, first of all, it's a wonderful sunny day, so it has to be a day of optimism and hope, and all gardeners know what that means. Lovely blue sky, so we're delighted to have a window of good weather. We've got a party at 4 o'clock. We decided to go out with a bit of a celebration. The site goes back to 1763, so we have a lot of history and enjoyment that's been built up over those years, and we want to celebrate it and go out with our heads held high.
How have you prepared for this day over the course of the last year?
I don't think we had been preparing for this day for a year. We
You didn't think it would come?
Trying to rescue the situation, and ultimately failed, but we've done our very best to protect the site and to get the owner to overturn her decision.
Right, well, she gave you a year here to get things in order, to go. This is the end of the story for now, but it may not be.
Well, again, we're optimists. All gardeners and all allotmenteers are optimists, and I believe there's still an opportunity for us to get back control of the site. It depends on the next step that the landowner takes, and if the land goes to auction, then we've got an opportunity. You know, we've had 10 attempts to get a face-to-face meeting, and each attempt has failed, not through any lack of effort on our part. So basically, we've been doing our very best to establish we did make an offer. We managed to get something called community value asset status for the site, and that gave us the ability to offer a price to the landowner when she put it up for sale.
So if it does come to auction, you are all going to have a go then?
Well, I don't know. It gives us a fresh chance. If there's a realistic valuation, then we might be able to raise more than the money that we've offered so far. But nothing like, I mean, the value of the land, according to the landowner, is £150,000 without planning permission.
Right.
That's way beyond our estimates and our ability. And if realism comes into the picture, then we'll be in there. And the site has such a history. We want to keep it. We want to keep it as a community area.
All right. Martin, enjoy your party today.
Thanks, David.
If you can, I know it's a sort of a bittersweet occasion for you, I'm sure. But let us know how it goes. Obviously, if it does come up for auction, let us know if you're going to throw your hat in the ring. And I'm sure we'll talk again. Thank you, Martin. All the best.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thanks, and bye-bye. Martin Clark, who's the campaign manager for Fight for Coombe. Their last day on the allotments today. They may well be back, depending on how any possible auction may go in the future. And, of course, we'll keep tabs on that here on BBC Radio Gloucestershire.